Thank you. And welcome everyone to Sacramento. Let me hear it from Sacramento. Did you hear us? I don't think you heard us. Welcome from Sacramento. We're going to get right to the action. I want to bring Daryl Brown up to talk to you.
Hello, as previously stated, my name is Daryl Brown. Um, I've been to a couple different high schools in my time, but the last school I attended was Kennedy High School, right up in Sacramento, little Sacramento area. I was, I've been expelled from 3 high schools. Kennedy was one of them. I was expelled because I have a twin sister I had a twin sister that went there, and I was expelled because another male was, touching my sister in an inappropriate manner, and I defended her, and it caused an altercation, and I was expelled from the high school. Now, I don't believe that that was fair because I was I was a good student. I kind of fell behind academically, but I was always a good student. I always tried to maintain as much as I could, but I was expelled for a reason that I don't think was fair because I was defending somebody, my sibling, who could not defend herself against another male. And I ended up, staying out of school for a little while. I got into a little bit of, activities I shouldn't have been getting into, and I ended up at Job Corps. And I'm currently enrolled in the charter school there. It's known as a Sci Tech. And I got my GED in 2 weeks, and I'm 2 weeks away from getting my high school diploma. And that's my story.
Thank you, Daryl. We really appreciate that. And next, I'd like to bring up Leah Llewellyn.
Hi, my name is Leah Llewellyn. I'm the president of the Black Student Union here in Sacramento at Intercom High School. And I just wanted to read some experiences that we have here in Sacramento. So, Columbine was a very tragic incident in American history. A lot of people died and were injured because two students wanted revenge on a population of students they did not like. As a result of this incident, schools were asked to develop a zero-tolerance procedure in an attempt to stop students from bringing weapons to school. While this was a lofty goal, it must be always remembered that sometimes what we intend does not happen. According to local school data about suspensions and expulsions, most students suspended are African American and Latino. I am sure we thought zero-tolerance policies would be used equally across all ethnic and racial groups. As the data indicates, this is not what is happening. I remember one incident at my school where a student was playing around with another student and threw a water balloon at him. Well, he missed and hit the teacher. Administrators classified this balloon as a weapon. Now, I agree that the student should have been punished for this accident, although I do not agree that the student should have been charged as an assault on the teacher and suspended for 5 days. It was clear he did not mean to, but just because the teacher was mad and embarrassed, he wanted to punish the kid in a very severe way. This student missed many assignments and had a hard time passing his class when he returned. It is school policy not to let students make up work when they're suspended. To me, this is crazy. I remember hearing about another incident at another school where a student was wearing a hat during his lunch. At that school, they had a no hat wearing policy. Well, in this situation, the vice principal walked up to the student angrily and snatched the hat off the student's head. Other students viewing the incident immediately started laughing. The vice principal told the student to never ever bring another hat to school and turned and walked away. The student was embarrassed and made a fist with one hand and started hitting his open hand with the other, giving the impression that he had to punch the vice principal. The vice principal, hearing the increased laughter, turned to see the student bringing his hand to his lap. The vice principal, now really mad, orders the students into the office where he's suspended for threatening and attempting to hit the vice principal. The vice principal said that she felt threatened by the student and did not know what the student would do and therefore had the right to suspend him. The student had never been in trouble before and was only trying to make everyone laugh because he was embarrassed. What is interesting is that the vice principal does not turn around, if the vice principal did not turn around, the student would not have been caught. We see students all the time simulating stupid stuff out of the immediate view of teachers. We are just being funny. If the vice principal is that threatened, maybe they are working in the wrong line of work. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. And everyone, finally, I'd like to bring up Eric Harrell.
Hi, my name is Eric Harrell, and I'm a sophomore at Sacramento High School. Zero tolerance is a policy of not accepting anything related to drugs, alcohol, weapons, or alcohol anywhere on the school grounds because of the fear of another Columbine-type situation. However, 20 years after Columbine, and since zero tolerance was put into effect, the suspension rates of students has doubled. School administrators have taken this to extreme levels, getting students expelled and even suspended for minor infractions such as having nail clippers or drawing pictures with guns on them. An example of the extreme would be the Breaking School Rules study done in Texas, which followed every incoming 7th grader over 3 years. The study shows 60% of the students were suspended at least once and 31% were suspended at least 4 times. Out of these students, 83% of African American males and 74% of Latino males were suspended at least once, while 1 in 7 students was suspended at least 11 times. This study shows how much schools are relying on suspension and expulsion to punish the students, usually without caring how this is going to affect their education. Furthermore, the teachers of the students don't have to let the students make up the work while they were suspended, putting a big fat 0 in the grade book. While the zero tolerance policy fails them when they are removed from school, the zero grading system fails them when they get back to school. The zero grading system is a weighted scale from 0 to 4, making an A worth 4, while an F is worth 0. Now, the zero grading system is a flawed system because a lot of times it does not reflect how well a student is really doing throughout class. In one situation, a student missed the first test and got a 0 in the first 2 weeks of school. Even with his best efforts, the student was unable to raise his grade above an F. When the student realized he could not raise his grade, he quit trying. There should be no way a student should want to stop trying his best, but since school failed him, he felt like he had no choice. If school is to help further students in academia and prepare them for life, why do we have all the problems that can slow down and even stop students from reaching their full potential? Last school year, I took biology and got an 87 overall in the class. I found this to be crazy because even though I missed a few assignments, I got a 97 on the final exam. So when I went to go look on Power School, I saw the exam only brought my grade up 1 point. I thought this was the most messed up thing I had ever seen because even though I missed a few 10 points assignments and got an A on the 100-point final, my grade only went up 1 point. Zero tolerance fails students while they are forced to leave school, and zero grading fails them when they get back to school. Hopefully, these situations can show what we are doing now is making education worse and can show us to a different approach to students, one that does not punish students for every mistake and ties more into what we know about student development.
Thank you. Let me hear it one more time for Sacramento. Let's everybody hear it. Back to Los Angeles.